guys, Ashley here coming at you today with a very special 3-star expert interview. We're going to go over a game plan and the actual replay of a great 3-star attack with 3-star attacking expert, GoHo expert, Morphus. So without further ado, I bring you Mr. Morphus. So I am here with Morphus, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Ash?
It's going well. This is your second time on the channel. Thanks for coming on.
Anytime, buddy.
So we're gonna break down a hog attack, and you in one of our most recent wars, you sent me over. You had a nice 3-star, and you are definitely a 3-star expert on these hog attacks. You definitely know what you're doing. So I figured the viewers would really benefit from discussing with you, kind of like your game plan going into one of these raids, and just kind of going from there, and then you can walk us through the actual attack.
Okay.
So let's go ahead, and I'm pulling up the screenshot you sent me right now. If I can multitask a little bit, let's take a look here. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and talk us through? We're looking right now at the base. Why don't you talk us through your thought process when attacking this design?
Okay. Well, I primarily attack with hogs. It's what I'm most comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of looking at this base, and there's a whole bunch of firepower over on the east-hand side. And so I'm trying to figure out where I can get in, engage the CC, and deal with the queen. And since I'm hog attacking, I want to get to at least one, if not 2 or 3 possible double giant bomb locations.
Okay.
And so when I was looking at this base, I noticed it was really soft in the west. And so my plan was to bring 2 golems in from the west, and some wall breakers and bust in on that corner. And then I'm just kind of going to use wizards to funnel and maybe get lucky and have a wizard or 2 kind of run around the edge and start clearing up the base for me in case time was an issue. And then I'm going to send in my royals also from the west. And I'm going to put that jump right over the air defense. And then this is where I didn't really know exactly what was going to happen. I figured my golems would path to the cannon, the wizard tower, and then either the other cannon or air defense in that compartment and hit that double giant bomb location if there's one there. There's quite a few places in this base I just don't know because it was a fresh hit. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
so,
and do you generally assume on a fresh hit that they're closer to the center of the base?
It's a good assumption. A lot of times you'll see maybe like one pair on a back end edge. Because if you look at the base, typically you can figure out where most people are going to attack it from. And if they're going to hog you, there's an area that's maybe less appealing, and all those hogs end up clumping through at the very end, like 1 or 2 defenses left, and boom, there's a double giant bomb. So I didn't really see that with this base, but I've got a little yellow dot over there in the southeast, and basically my plan was, since Tesla farms seem to be the meta for Town Hall 9s now, I just wanted to drop 1 barb there just to check to see if I was about ready to run into 3 Teslas or not. And I also didn't know if there was, for some reason, maybe Tesla's outside the wall and double giant bombs behind it. So I just wanted to kind of check that area before I sent in the hogs in that area. But so I got the 2 green lines there at the jump spell, and I did not know which way my king was going to go. But I figured my queen would probably head to the north and help me on that compartment. So my primary goal was to get a bunch of hogs in to at least start clearing up some of the mess there in the southeast. And then, the 4 to 5s that I have written there at the south and east, I didn't really know where I was going to end up needing them.
Okay.
So that's kind of my thought process on there. And I only drew 2 heal spells because I figured I would definitely need them there, but I did not know where I was going to need the 3rd heal spell.
Okay. Sounds like a great plan. I have a couple questions before we get into the replay. Number 1 is if say there was a Tesla farm over there to the south of the town hall, how would that have changed your hog deployment? Would you have just really loaded that area with extra hogs, or?
I would have probably ended up using a heal spell just to get through that Tesla farm, and maybe used like 8 to 10 hogs
Okay.
over there instead of that original 6.
Okay,
You know,
okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
and just kind of adjusted it from there. But I mean, on fresh hits, you just never know where stuff is, and so you kind of got to play it a little bit safe and trickle them in, depending on, because I didn't know where my kill squad is going to go. I didn't know where my, where the
Yeah.
Teslas were going to be. So, I prefer to err on the side of caution when I'm, sending in my hogs. That way I still have enough to recover if something goes wrong.
Okay, and my other question would have been, I think a lot of attackers, and honestly, even me, I prefer with my Town Hall 9, I prefer air attacks. So ground attacks, although I do them here and there, I just don't have a great eye for it. See, I would have probably tried to attack this base somewhere from the north, either the northeast or the northwest, and the reason being just because I could access the queen using just one jump spell and without wall breakers. Now,
Right.
why didn't you do that?
Well, because I felt like I could engage the CC on the soft side of the base.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, because if I went in from the north, I could possibly, like, if, let's say, Lava Hound pops out, I would have a cannon, an Expo, an Archer Tower, a Wizard Tower, and an Archer Tower all raining down on me while I'm trying to deal with this Lava Hound.
Very true.
So if I'm going in from that side, I feel like it's a little bit softer. I'm not, like, in a concentrated, form of defense. He's got quite a few storages up there as well. And I felt like coming in from this side, I can get an extra wizard in there. Maybe I get 2 wizards to wrap in and actually go into the base. And so I have, the wizards in there as well, helping to take down the CC and any defenses.
Yeah, that's a great point, and the double, hopefully triggering maybe some giant bombs if you get lucky there. So,
Correct.
Yeah, and that's a great point you bring up about storages. I think, myself included, I don't think people look enough at where the storages are, because you're right. If there was a Lava Hound in there, and you come in, like, say, northwest towards that gold storage, I mean, it's going to be a lot of firepower coming down your troops while you're taking out the storage, the Lava Hound, and everything else. So it's a good point
Correct.
there. All right,
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get into the actual replay here. I'm going to go ahead and press play on my end right now. And why don't you just go ahead and walk us through the plan and how things are going.
Okay, so I'm going to start with my columns going in and kind of get some wizards going in there as well to kind of help my funnel. And you just never know if there's like a little bomb over there in that corner, or there's a spring trap, so I'm just going to use 1 wall breaker and then send in a couple more to go ahead and take down the wall. There was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to send in my royals, and right now it's looking pretty good. I got 2 wizards on each one of those storages, so that's going to help not hang up the queen, get my jump spell down, and a dragon and wizard and a couple archers pop out. Go ahead and get the poison down. Now my king goes ahead and hops in that cannon, so I'm thinking he's not going to travel north on me. Go ahead and rage him up. And then he does something that really helps me out. He ends up going to that north compartment.
Mm-hmm.
So I drop my barb, I send in 1 hog check for double giant bombs, and then I'm going to end up doing what I originally thought I was going to end up doing.
So here come the hogs right now. So because you sent in the barb, there was no Teslas and stuff like that. So at this point, you must be feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of just trickling in hogs, and the heal spells weren't exactly how I planned, and I hit a spring trap down there by the South Wizard Tower, but then those 4 to 5 hogs from the northwest that I sent in ended up almost clearing out that entire Tesla farm and working their way over to the Expo, which was just beautiful. And that Expo was actually targeting my queen for most of the raid, which probably helped me.
Okay, yeah.
Because, it kept... My hog deployment wasn't that great, but I still had enough by trickling them in little by little to end up getting it done. So
Okay, yeah, and you had a few wizards for cleanup as well, so you have plenty of time still left on the clock. Now, I guess I got to ask you, because things didn't go exactly how you had anticipated, if you had to do this raid over, what adjustments would you make?
I would still go in. I would still go in from the west. Who knows if my, king would help me out like that? Because you never know when he's going to cross over and end up going to that expo instead of going north, which tremendously helped me out. If it was a second hit and I already knew there was nothing in that compartment, I probably would end up sending in a fourth pack there at the southwest and getting a heal down, and I think it would have went a lot more efficiently.
So spreading the hogs a bit more?
Yeah.
On the deployment? Okay.
Yeah, instead of sending in some at the cannon, archer tower and cannon on that side, I probably would have sent in more at the mortar as well.
Okay, I can see where you're... Okay, it was that second deployment of hogs there. That's what you would change a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I would change. I think that would help me keep more of that original pack of hogs and just kind of keep the raid going. And if the king decided not to wander north, I would still have, 6 hogs at minimum to send in from the north there.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get. Before I let you go, I guess I would be remiss if I didn't ask, when you're looking for a base to hit with GoHo or GoHoWi or whatever, is there certain things that you look for in a base, or are you just going after any base that you feel confident against anything?
Well, I used to use like Go Lava primarily, and then it just wasn't working out for me. So I switched to hogs, and I think I'm actually more successful to hogs. But just looking at a base, and it just kind of takes a trained eye to see like where the sweepers are arranged, where the double giant bombs, is it really spread out, is it compact, and sometimes the base just kind of speaks to you. But typically, I would what my initial thought is when I see a base. If I think it's a good Go Lava base, I would recommend that to someone. But typically, when I had a base, I always try to figure out how to hog it. That's just my personal preference.
And it seems like based on this replay, what you're really looking to do is enter the base where you can engage the clan castle in an area that's as lightly concentrated defensively speaking as possible, and that's basically where you're going to try to enter in, as long as you can take out the queen.
If I'm using 2 golems, yes, but if I feel like it calls for an earthquake or 3 golems, it's just mainly where I can go in and clear as many spaces where I think there are double giant bombs and still get enough value. And I like my pathing, my hogs, so it's just something that takes some practice.
Great. Well, Morph, thank you so much for joining me today. You brought some very valuable tips. I'm sure the viewers certainly enjoyed it, and look forward to having you on again, hopefully soon.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks, Morph. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Just a few ways you can help the channel out. Number 1, like. Number 2, subscribe. Number 3, comment. Tell me what you think of the video. I really appreciate it, guys, and it really helps me out a lot. Also, you can find me on social media. I'm active every day on Twitter at @clash_with_ash, and on Bindle chat group #ClashWithAsh. And as always, you can find me on my website at www.clashwithash.com. Thanks, guys.